Hi everyone, it's Miss Erin from the Auburn Hills Public Library. Today's video is going to be our first video in a series we're doing this summer that's all about STEM projects that you can do at home. So in each video I will be doing a couple experiments to show you different STEM projects that you can make using items that you can find around your house. Today we are going to be making super strong bubbles, which is going to be a lot of fun. So there are a lot of super strong bubble recipes you can find online, but I liked this one from Artful Parent because it uses items that I think most people have around their house. I will include a link with this video, so if you'd like to follow along with the recipe, you can. We are having the recipe today because it's just me here, so I don't need that many bubbles. All you'll need for this recipe is dish soap, sugar, and warm water. So let's get started adding our ingredients together, and as we go, I'll tell you a little bit more about why we're adding each ingredient. All right, so for our super strong bubble recipe, the first thing we're going to need is 2 cups of warm water. Make sure the water is warm. That's really important for the next step. So you're also going to need a fork or a whisk that you can use to stir your mixture together. Grab a 1/4 cup measuring cup and go ahead and scoop out a 1/4 cup of sugar. Get that in there. Grab your fork or your whisk and start stirring that all together. Now, the reason we want to use warm water is because the molecules in warm water move faster than in cold water. When the molecules in the water are moving faster, that means they hit the sugar molecules more frequently. So the warmer water helps dissolve the sugar faster because it's hitting those molecules more frequently. If you'd like to try it at home, you can try an experiment where you use warm water and you use cold water and see how long it takes you to stir the sugar all the way in. So that looks pretty good for us today. The reason we're using sugar in the water is because sugar helps the water evaporate more slowly. Have you ever blown a bubble before and it floats up in the air and then all of a sudden it just pops? That's because the water in the bubble mixture has evaporated, causing the bubble to pop. So by putting sugar in, we make it so the water evaporates slower and the bubble can last even longer. So we've got our sugar in. We're going to grab our 1/4 cup measuring cup again, and our final ingredient, some dish soap. So go ahead and measure that out. And let's get it in there. So it might seem kind of obvious to add dish soap in, but what the dish soap is doing is helping with the surface tension of the bubble. So an experiment we're going to try with our bubble a little later on is going to show us that bubbles don't pop if they're on a wet surface, of a surface that has the same mixture that's in the bubbles. It's when they touch something dry that they pop. So putting dish soap in helps make the surface tension of the bubble even stronger. That means we can make bigger bubbles. So the sugar is going to help us make longer lasting bubbles, and the dish soap is going to help us make bigger bubbles that don't pop as fast. That's a good thing to remember for when you're blowing bubbles too. It's the surface tension from your dry finger that's breaking the bubble. Okay, so the Artful Parent and a lot of other websites online that have different bubble recipes recommend that you leave your bubble mixture overnight or for at least a couple of hours to give it a chance to really bind together, and then it will be even stronger. I made some yesterday that we'll use for our experiments, but I also tried this out yesterday right after I made it. I'm impatient, and it worked pretty well. So if you're ready to get going as soon as you make it, you can always set some aside for tomorrow and use some to try things out right now. So the first thing we're going to try with my pre-made bubble mixture here is using a bubble wand I made from a pipe cleaner. So we have some pipe cleaners here at the library, and I just used one to make a big circle to see if I can make any big bubbles with my mixture here. If you don't have pipe cleaners at home, you can of course use whatever bubble wands you have, or it's fun to maybe try and find some things from around your house, especially your kitchen, that has some holes in it, like a spatula or a spoon that you can try out in your bubble mixture outside. Let's try out our bubble wand here. We're gonna dip it in. Whoa, it's a big bubble. There we go. So as you can see, it takes a little bit of practice, but I was able to get some big bubbles going there. And if you're outside, you'll have a little more room to run around and try out some different ways of blowing your bubble wand. You can even try and make some different shapes. So for our bubble mixture final experiment here, you'll need a few things. We'll need our old bubble mixture. You'll need a lid or another flat surface that you can totally cover in the bubble mix. And you will need a clean straw and clean hands. Now, the reason we need to cover our surface in the bubble mix is because, like I was talking about before when we added the dish soap, one of the things that makes bubbles break is when their surface tension breaks. Their surface tension breaks when they encounter something dry, like your finger or like a blade of grass, when they're bouncing around. So we are going to try and blow our bubbles on our bubble mixture covered surface here and see how big we can make our super bubbles. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to pick one side of our straw that's going in the bubble mix. We're going to dip it in there, and then just like you may have done with water or soda or something you've had to drink before, you're going to put your thumb over the top and hold some of your bubble mix in your straw. We'll let it out here. So we're going to put it in our bubble mix, put our thumb over the top, and transfer it over to our lid here where I will try and blow a bubble. All right, there we go. We've got a pretty big bubble, huh? So you'll see I was even able to take a few breaths and keep blowing our bubble because it has such good surface tension and can last so long because of the sugar and the dish soap that we added. So something else you may notice, I'm able to stick my straw in the bubble, even move it all around, and that's because this end of the straw is covered in the bubble mix, same as the lid, so it's not breaking the surface tension. Now, let's see if I try my finger, which is dry, and it pops. So let's try and blow another bubble. Oops. So you'll see that first one I tried got a little too close to the edge and it popped on the side. But something else I wanted to show you, let's see if we can make this one a little bigger. All right, what you can try and do, I'll get some more bubble mix, is blow a bubble inside your other bubble. Oh, shoot. Let me try one more time. Get a little more bubble mix. Ooh, kind of worked. You can see there's a little tiny bubble inside my big bubble, and some of them have also joined around the side. So something else you can do if you're blowing bubbles up in the air, you can try and catch the bubbles on something that has that same wet surface, but it's all about the surface tension and playing around with making your bubbles really big. So I hope you had fun learning a little bit more about making our super bubble mixture and why it works so well, and you can try this out at home. Hopefully we'll see you for the next video in our series. Thanks for watching. Bye.